You said you was inspired to join the service after watching Charlie Sheen's Navy SEAL movie. I, I didn't get a chance to ask you then, but how accurate was that movie? I know it inspired you to join the service, but how accurate was that movie?
Terrible. Not accurate. It was not accurate at all. It was the flair and all the cool guy stuff that I guess it appealed to me, but what they were doing and the equipment they had was all like I'd never seen any of it. It was far off from like Hollywood makes it look fun, extravagant, this always on the edge lifestyle, but it really isn't like that. It's what you see in the movies is like 1% of a guy who does that job, like what they actually do, like 1% of it. Most of this stuff is really boring, to be honest with you. You're doing a lot of repetitive missions, repetitive tasks, and it all kind of bleeds together. You got that 1% to where you get the movie scenes where the explosions, the rockets, dudes jumping out of planes, getting blown up. It's like 1% of that. But luckily, not luckily, but like 2009, that 1% happened like every single night for my last deployment for like 4 months straight. Just about 4 months.
That 1%.
Yeah, it was intense. It caused a lot of guys to get out. It changed people's perceptions and on life too. I watched atheists become preachers after that deployment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 of them, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
you're not just saying that, like you literally.
Oh yeah. Guys who didn't believe anything, that deployment messed a lot of people up. It was such a small group that to have all that stuff happen in a 12-hour time span was that intense, like big time. I was talking to one of my guys last week, reached out to him, or he reached out to me, and we had, went back into the topics of, that last deployment, that last mission that we did. And it was, it sticks with guys forever. And to us, it feels like yesterday or last week. I can still see things, smell things, but yeah, it changed everybody's. If you were a part of that mission, it changed your life in a good way or a bad way. Some guys killed themselves too.
So why is it that some guys can come back home and assimilate into society, and other guys, it just feels like no matter what, they're always haunted by the past. They're always living by, in your case, 2009. Is there something that guys like yourself who have found a way to move on have done differently than others who, and I say this with all humility, but have eaten a bullet, who were taking a bullet themselves?
Man, I think that's the thing that they don't train for. You don't train for, you don't get training for it, how to cope. I think it's just how you personally deal with things. It's not, it differs with everybody. Like they train you up to be able to do a job like that, but after the fact, it's kind of, you got to figure it out on your own. You can go seek help, but during your entire time in the military, you're told not to seek help, or when you're asked certain questions on a psychological evaluation test when you get back, you're told to mark, no, I didn't see this, I didn't do that, just so you can go home early. So you're kind of, brought up in that mindset to not show any of that weakness until you get out. And it's some guys can cope, some guys cannot. I don't think anybody does cope 100%. I think it messes with everybody throughout the board, but it's how we express it. Some guys are really good at hiding it. I was really good for years after I got out of, I'm fine or I'm doing good, but not really though. It's just that some guys compartmentalize certain things and can deal with it. They feel like, or I felt like I was dealing with it on my own the right way. But I mean, that's a tough battle. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm perfect now. Like there's days where I don't know what's going on, So it all depends on, I don't know. I have no idea. That's a tough one. Why some guys can cope and some guys cannot. It's a weird game. We got to play with our own mental state. We just hope we're playing it the right way.
Just random question for you. Does the government provide services for you guys after you're out? I know while you're in, you just mentioned, I guess they provide services, but you're told to actually lie.
Yeah.
So when you transition back into the real world, you know, are there therapists that you are encouraged to go see? Are you encouraged to go through certain programs just to help you assimilate back into this world?
No.
Really?
No.
With all of the gunfire, all of the death, all of the war that you guys experienced, you're sitting here and you can tell me no.
100% no. You got to find it on your own. And even when you go out to find it, it's not the best quality. There's some people who just, at some points it feels like people don't care. It's just a check in the box just to get you out the door. Like after every deployment that I've done, out of the 6 deployments, you get back from overseas, you can be doing a mission and then 24 hours later, you're back at home walking through Walmart. Less than 24 hours later, it can be 18 hours. And when you get out, for my case in point, when I got out, it was you sign some paperwork, they give you a stack of documents, and you're on your way out the door. I was packing up a U-Haul truck with 2 German Shepherds, my wife, and we drove 23-something hours down to San Antonio, Texas. That was it.
That's it.
Yeah, within a span of a few hours. I was Army 1 minute, civilian the next, and trying to, make a living out here. And for my case, it was a few months after I got out, I had to get a job. I was not going to live with, my wife's mom at all. And I'm just not that type of guy to, move in with people like that. So I picked up the same job that I just was doing in the Army, but just on the private side. So I did private military contracting, this organization called Triple Canopy. If people are like familiar with Blackwater, it's like that. Founded by some Navy SEALs, and we did work overseas in Iraq and Baghdad. Worked at the near and around the embassy. Worked in the red zone of Baghdad, transporting and taking and escorting dignitaries, politicians, and stuff like that. Joe Biden, when he was the vice president at one point. And you're taking him through, Iraq to go have meetings to, I don't know what they were having. Well, I kind of do. Electrical stuff and setting up things to make money, It's a big money grab. But for me, it was back overseas. That's all I knew. So I didn't have really anything else to go to. I wasn't going to work at, Walmart. Nothing against it. It just wasn't, I wasn't in the right state of mind at that point. So
it's crazy. Okay, because it almost, and forgive me for saying this, but dudes who are locked up, like when they get out.
Yeah, same thing.
That's what it almost, like when I was listening to you, it almost felt like a dude who just came home.
Yeah, same thing. There's no difference. No, you would expect a little bit more because you're doing this job and supposedly for the, freedom of the nation or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, you got to realize we're just pawns, and those are the most easiest ones to get off the board, sacrifice, so the king and queen can stay alive, but highly expendable.
Damn. Okay, we're in a highly political season right now. This year, the United States will choose its next president. Everybody runs. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, Democrat, Republican, everybody runs. And they all are talking about our veterans, those who serve, those who give not just themselves, but they sacrifice leaving their families at home, this, that, and the third. How much of that is true talk from these politicians? And how much of that is just, I'm going to tell y'all what y'all want to hear?
That's all it is.
It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. I'm just going to tell you what you want to hear to get this vote. They don't believe any of that. The only person I could say that I was around for, I was during the Obama administration, during the, I went in 2004, so that was Bush at that time.
That was Bush, yeah.
Yeah, I did Bush, Obama, and the one that I can say helped the most as a veteran standpoint would have been Trump, though, of having the access to go out to seek help from outside providers, outside doctors, and the VA would front the bill. That was like the biggest game changer, I think, as far as actually sticking through with something. Was being able to go to any doctor you want to get outside treatment. That was the big one.
Okay, so Trump left office in 2020, I believe. Have you noticed a difference in the last 4 years, or in some of the policies that he put in place for you guys? Did they carry on through the Biden administration?
Somewhat, but they kind of got lax on it. It was like more, it wasn't how it was when he was in. It's been more of it's almost going back to the old ways where, you know, guys are killing themselves inside their car, sitting out in the VA parking lot because they can't be seen or can't get help or anything like that. There's tons of videos like that. Guys breaking down, the help is not there. It was different for that 4 years, I can say that, when he was in. But the politician talk about all the things of veteran, and I turn it off at this point. I don't listen to any of it.
Really?
I don't know. You can't. You have to realize you're expendable. You're there to do a job, and that's just to, you know, essentially just to progress the longevity of some politician's agenda. And whatever that agenda may be, that's what you're really used for. As much as I wanted to believe, and this is going to sound weird, I mean, there was a time and point I can say that maybe we were in defense of our country to help defend our nation, but you got to tell me why we went to Iraq, you know? There was a bunch of lies about that made me question why we were there, why be there in the first place. And even with Afghanistan, you know, if we wanted to attack anybody, I would have attacked Saudi Arabia or the Saudis, because that's who was essentially the ones who attacked us. And then Osama bin Laden used to work for the CIA too, so I don't know.
You know, you just said something, and I want to stick here for a second. You said you saw real difference during the Trump administration.
Mm-hmm.
You have been around during the Bush administration, the Obama administration, obviously the Trump, and now Biden.
Yeah.
But Trump is where you saw
For veterans, yeah.
For veterans.
For veterans.
real difference at.
Mm-hmm.
Trump has been receiving, he's having the worst month ever.
I know, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
This guy's having the worst month ever. You know, the E. Jean Carroll case, he lost something like $83 million, or he is ordered to pay her $83 million. Just last week in the state of New York, he was ordered to pay something upwards of $380 million.
Yeah.
Is Trump in your opinion, is this, you know, what goes around comes around? Or is this guy just totally misunderstood and, you know, people are just trying to stick it to him while they have the chance?
I don't even think it's like being misunderstood. I think it's just a political game of a certain party or a certain outside force that we can't see wants to stay in power, and they're trying to do everything they can to disrupt that. I don't know for, you know, what reasons. I just think that there's an outside force being applied that is controlling somewhat his destiny, or trying to control his destiny of where he's going to end up in this whole political presidential race. Whether he wins or loses, I don't really think it matters so much, though. I think the agenda has already been set in stone. It's already, you know, set in place. If just the things that are going on in the country today and the wars we're involved in, from, you know, the Houthis to Syria, Iran, all these countries, Russia, Ukraine, there's so much going on right now that I think it's just that agenda that is being pushed for whatever reasons. I think we'll find out in the next couple of years, though. I think it'd be a really interesting 2025, though. Yeah.
No, it's definitely going to be a very interesting 2025. You know, no matter what side of the aisle you sit.
Yeah.
You know, I believe, you know, if Trump gets back in office, you know, all things considered, Trump don't forget.
Yeah.
They talk about Biden's memory. Ain't nothing wrong with Trump's memory.
Right.
That guy got a memory like an elephant, and he does not forget and he does not forgive.
Yeah.
So I could see why there are many people who would not want that man back.
Yeah. Looking at it from that perspective. Yeah, definitely.
Trump is going to go scorched earth on a lot of people who he feel wronged him.
Right. You're right. I mean, I can't blame him. I think I would be the same way. If I felt attacked,
but you can't. You can afford to be that way. But the president of the United States,
you're right. Yeah,
that's a dangerous position to take.
Yeah, it turned out like JFK. Yeah. Could easily.
And you know, I was talking to somebody, and you know, essentially, they were saying that even if Trump won, they feel as though it would be another JFK situation.
Okay, yeah.
Because America, a lot of people in high positions in this country can't afford for Trump to get back into office.
Which is scary, though.
Yeah.
That's scary to think about as the American people. It's kind of scary. Then it's like, is it really for the people or is it against the people? Whose agenda are we trying to fulfill? The American people's agenda? Or are we trying to fulfill some agenda that we can't see yet and we don't know what it's about or what's going on? Is it to inflate politicians' pockets or who knows what? But there's an agenda at play that we're not privy to. And I think that should scare all of us.
Well, you know, I would tell you again, what scares me is knowing, you know, Trump doesn't forget. He absolutely doesn't forgive. But I remember before Trump took office, he used to call her Crooked Hillary.
Yeah.
And Trump, if you can remember, he was calling for Hillary Clinton to be arrested behind that
on the first debate. Yeah.
Correct. He was like, you know, she needs to be arrested, yada, yada. And everybody and their mother was like, it's un-American to have, you know, somebody like a Hillary Clinton be arrested. And lo and behold, you know, 6 years later, Trump has been arrested multiple times. Trump is literally going to court next month, March.
Really? For what?
On his first criminal case. So it's like, I know for him, he's like, yeah, everything y'all told me not to do, y'all are doing to me. So it, you know, it's an interesting situation, but I don't know. I don't know that people sitting on the other side, you know, they know if Trump takes that seat again, it's going to be holy hell to pay.
Yeah. And I think that's what scares them. And I think that's maybe why they're going so hard at him at this point. You know, it's this year. We have election season coming up. They're trying to put the book to him probably and see what they can do to I guess, deter that or maybe potentially get him locked up. And at that point, he wouldn't be able to run. But then who would remain? I mean, what, Biden would automatically be the next president after that? Or
yeah, I mean, I don't know if he'd quote unquote automatically be the next president, but
he'd
you
be
know,
up there.
it's definitely looking like it's going to be between Trump and Biden. Trump absolutely looks like he's going to be the Republican pick. Nikki Haley